Episode Hassle of Hair episode Hassle of Hair episode 69, guys.
It's been a while since I've been on.
Yeah.
Well, like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So we ended up getting COVID.
I'm gonna say I got the flu.
Yeah. So we were sick for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Week and a half. We stopped having symptoms like almost a week ago.
I'm barely starting to taste, so I mean.
Yeah.
And smell. So I mean, are those still part of the symptoms? I mean, we don't have a fever. We don't have chills. Where's the other stuff? Headache.
No, we
super bad headache.
Yeah, everything's gone, right?
Yeah.
But we were pretty bad for like 3 days.
Yeah, we had fevers.
Yeah, body aches.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 days where we were in bed for 3 days straight.
I didn't even know what day it was. That's how sad it was.
But we're over it. We got through it. We're ready to get back to it. Ooh,
wait, I
rhymed. I got bars.
I had the flu. He had COVID.
But today we have Today we have a guest. It's our first Zoom interview.
Yeah, I wasn't on it.
Yes, but we're gonna figure that out for the second Zoom interview.
Yeah.
But today's guest is Josh Melendez, a purple belt, BJJ purple belt, and owner of 1GDojo.
Yes.
1GDojo, and he is a jiu-jitsu practitioner who not suffers.
Oh my God.
He has a syndrome called Poland syndrome.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna
you're gonna fucking murder this.
But you're one body part grows faster and the muscles grow faster and bigger than the other body part. So one of his arms is a lot smaller than his other arm, right? And seeing him, you'd be like, man, how would you be able to play sports or compete? Mm-hmm. And he's competed and he's tapped me out plenty of times, and I have 2 good arms.
That means you suck then. You suck. No, but I was listening when you guys were talking. He was saying how his family didn't like treat him different and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's the same thing I did with Eva growing up with her being deaf. Like, oh, you're deaf, it's okay, don't worry about it, you don't have to do it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I never babied her to always like, you got to do this. No, you're going to do that.
It's crazy because I don't know why I had such a hard time talking to him about it. Like, if you listen to the interview, I was stuttering. I didn't know how.
You sounded fucking dumb.
Whatever. I didn't know how to ask questions without
offending him.
Yeah, without offending him. But then I realized it's like when Eva gets most offended when you're like
when you baby it or you
So it's, I don't know. I didn't even realize. I forget that we have a daughter that has a disability. Deaf. Yeah, I forget because we're the same. We treat her like normal.
Yeah, she gets yelled at and spanked.
So,
why do you sound like that?
That was because I was reaching.
Oh
no, but so we did have a guest today. I wanted to beforehand tell you guys that we did have COVID. We've been out for 2 weeks, and the one thing
I had the flu.
She had the flu. I had COVID. The one thing that was awesome that came out of this was the fact that we are gonna start doing Zoom. I think I was a little afraid of it before because it's.
What did you tell him? I don't really know how to work the computers.
Yeah, the computers. But I think I'm ready for it now, and it's an awesome thing because we could go after those people that are far away. Because I know I reached out to some people, and I grew up with some people that live far away, and they have interesting lives, right?
Or you can get in touch with the dad in Alaska that what is it, like not shadow box, but with the sons, right?
He trains his sons.
Yeah, that guy.
But I think, I think I'm excited for it, and we still are gonna have guests in house, but I do want to test negative beforehand, or at least go through the two weeks.
I'm thinking like 3 months.
So, but we are gonna. The schedule is gonna be, one guest a week on Thursdays.
So we're changing it. Actually, we're gonna be dropping 2 podcasts a week,
not 3
instead of 3.
Yes.
It was becoming too much, to be honest. Like getting
not really
2 guests.
Yeah, 2 guests.
2 guests was like way too much.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we would have people that would say they would want to come on, and it would be like a no show. Like they never got back. Then like they say, yeah, I'll be there, and then like not come.
Yeah.
So.
But it's. I think it's better this way. This way I could focus on the episodes and edit them because
we got a college boy in the house. He's going to college next semester. That too. That's why. That too.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I enrolled into classes in junior college, but I'm going to go back to school for communications. Mm-hmm. But I've always wanted to do it, and I'm not that far away from transferring.
Yeah, you need like a year or year and a half.
A year and a half. Probably a year.
I think you could do it a year if you take summer classes.
Yeah, so I'm going to my goal is to get my bachelor's in communications. And it's crazy because I don't know. I don't think I need it, but it's kind of like why not?
What do you mean?
To the field that I want to go in, but why not take advantage of everything, right? Yeah, you could say like, oh, school doesn't matter, but it's something.
Who says school doesn't matter?
I don't know. That's how I feel.
Oh, okay.
But then I think it's a part of me that wants to do it just because.
Are you trying to prove a point, or you just want to finish what you started?
Finish what I started.
Okay.
Like with everything, I have so many.
The thing I think is so funny is like when you told Eva, like, I'm going to go back to college. And she just looked at you like, what?
But that's a thing. It's like I'm telling Eva, go get your master's. Go get your master's. Why am I going to tell her to do something that I never did? So it's kind of like it's like kind of like coaching somebody to go fight.
And you never fought?
Never fought. So I want to finish my master's. So when she gets older, it's like, I did it when I was in my 30s. Mm-hmm. You know? So.
Relax. You just turned 30 this year. You just started. Stop. Stop.
So you listened to the podcast. What did you think about him?
What do you mean?
Like, what was he like? What do you get from him? Like, was he inspiring? Do you think it's not? I don't want to say he is inspiring, right? Mm-hmm. But do you think that he's a good example of people don't worry about your circumstances, just go after it?
Yeah.
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 And it's he was an awesome guest for that. That's why I wanted to have him on. Mm-hmm. And doing the whole 1GDojo was he also was in a circumstance where there were no gyms. Yeah. So he created something that could help people out and help him train at the same time. So
I think it's pretty cool that he does it on the roof sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
So, do you have anything to say?
We're better. We're healthy. Don't worry about us.
And so this is our guest, Josh Melendez, 1GDojo. Before we get into that, check out our sponsor, Rough Riders Barbecue. It's been a while since I said that, but yeah. Rough Riders Barbecue, guys, go check him out on Instagram. Bailey Rodriguez. We had so much stuff coming up with him, collabing with them and doing content, but things happen.
We got the flu.
So go check him out, Rough Riders Barbecue. We're gonna be coming up with stuff with them, and go follow the Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. Follow the Instagram. The Hassle of Hair on Instagram. I don't know why.
Follow the Instagram. Let me do this. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Hassle of Hair. Go subscribe to The Hassle of Hair on Instagram. Do we have any other platforms?
No.
Just those two?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just those two.
Yeah.
That's it? Go check out
the Facebook page, The Hassle of Hair.
But also go check out our other page. We're doing the Gloves Off the Mat as well. Yeah. We dropped that. we were sick with the flu.
So, yeah, guys, we're happy to be back. Welcome to our guest. Cue the intro music starting now.
That's not our music.
I know, but it's coming up.
Why does it sound like sci-fi?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Imagine if you did it.
But that's like in Wayne's World,
we're not worried.
Not that one. When they go to the dramatic past scene. I don't know. But Josh Melendez, 1GDojo.
1GDojo.
Interview starting after the intro music. Before we get into OneGDojo, how did you start jiu-jitsu?
Oh, my pops, dude, actually. So yeah, my pops was my dad was doing it probably almost 2 years, I want to say, like before I started. And I was kind of just like not really doing anything. Like I was like just being a fuck up, dude. Like really, like to be honest,
you were young, right? You were 16 or 15?
No, I didn't start. No, I wish, man. I was 24 when I started.
Oh damn, I didn't know that.
But I look 16. Nah, dude, no, for reals. Yeah, like people thought I was like much younger than I was, but I was I was 24. I'm 24. So yeah. I started when I was 24. I'm 29 now. I'll be 30 in March. So
okay, we're around the same age. We're like half a year away. Yeah, I didn't know that. So you started late. You're 24, and then that's when you first was your first gym. What was your first gym? It wasn't Gilroy BJJ, right?
No, it was Gilroy. So it was Gilroy. So what happened was I was just like dude. So like this is what I mean by like I was like fucking up and everything. I was like just like chilling with like a couple of my boys on their porch, like next door to my grandma's house. We were like drinking like 40s and shit, dude. Just like, dude, like total like just like that. Like, well, I grew up in Los Banos too, but like Los Banos, man, just like typical dudes just outside, like gangster guys, just like just drinking beers or whatever. So like the homies or whatever. So we're like out there like that, and I'm just like drinking. My dad walked by one day, and he's like, "What do you like?" Basically looked at me like all disappointed, like, hey, you should come train. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna stand around and like drink and party with your friends, and like what are you gonna do? Kind of thing. Like, yeah. So
and at 24, like, I mean, at 23, you said you're like 24, right?
Yeah, 24. Yeah,
and 24, you kind of like. That's when that's an age when you have to start like moving like that. Yeah, like, okay, what you can't just sit around all day and do nothing. So were you going to college at the time?
No, man. So I was just like working like like dead end jobs. Like it wasn't like I had no like I kind of like lost my ambition. I was just kind of like I was working and hanging out with my homeboys, and like I had enough money to buy like beers and like weed and stuff and like hang out and go do whatever we were doing, and so I thought I had it made, I thought it was cool, but like everybody else, like who's responsible and like has jobs and actually they're doing something productive with their lives. They're like Josh, what are you doing? Like what is this? And so like one day my younger brother was with me, John. He was with me and we're like hanging out. He's like same thing as me. We're just hanging out, whatever, right? And he was a big old tough dude. So he's like, I'll show up. My dad's like telling us how these guys will whoop us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my brother's like, I'll go. So my brother went first. And Jose Leon, I'll never forget the story. So Jose Leon, he's a black belt. He has Hollister BJJ, right? He choked my brother out or something like that. And he's like, yeah, this guy jumped on my back. And he's telling me the story. He's telling me the story. He's like, yeah, he choked me out or whatever. He's like, but if I wanted to, I could have slammed him around. And
well, Jose's real small. Jose's real small, right?
Yeah, well, he's a lot smaller. My brother was 6'1".
I mean, I don't want to make. I'm not saying bad. No. I'm saying he's small, but he wrecks dudes.
Well, put it this way: me and Jose are both featherweights, right? When we compete, we're both featherweights. My brother is probably heavyweight or like super heavyweight, like kind of thing. Like he's a bigger dude. He's like, like 250 plus, like so. Yeah. Anyway, so just to see the way he got handled, this big tough dude, and by someone, who was like my dad. My dad's short, my dad's small.
Yeah.
By someone who's like closer to my dad's size, that like really like was impressive to me. So I go, I got to see what this is all about. So the same thing. Next day, I'm like hanging out on the porch again. Pops comes through. It's like, hey, you want to go this time? I go, whatever. So literally put a beer down, bro. Hop off the porch, go with the Pops, and then we go to go train. And I meet John Magoo. He was him and Carlos were my two first professors. So I met him then. And when I walked in, he saw me. I was kind of cocky, like when I was rolling and stuff. I think I caught my dad in something funky, like, and he tapped, and I was like, all right, that's it. Like we're done. We just hang out now. And he's like, no, we keep going. And dude, I was wrecked. So then John called me over. He saw me, and he could see I was a little like arrogant, like the way I was acting, like in my roles and stuff. So he calls me over, and I'll never forget this. John has a cane because he had surgery. I don't know like the full extent of the story, but I know he was using a cane. So he like walks up to me with his cane that he like a staff almost. It's like a staff. Totally playing pasta, man. He's like walking over with the staff, and then he's like, hey Josh, come over here. Let me talk to you. Let's roll. So I go, all right, cool. I walk up to him, man. I come at him like I go, I'm gonna kill this guy. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Dude, by the end,
because he has a cane, though. I mean, how can you feel good about wrecking the dude with the cane, though?
Dude, I was a little jerk, dude. I was a complete like young dumb kid. Like that's what I was saying. Like I walked in the gym really like I thought like whatever, these guys like they train and everything, but like I was like in my head I was like I'm gonna kick these guys' asses. Like dude, stupid. Like I was a typical guy who doesn't train and like was like I know what I'm talking about. I could beat these guys up, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like just stupid. But
he ended up
anyways, walking. What's that?
He ended up wrecking you,
dude. I ended up at the end of the match. I ended up being in like a fetal position, like convulsing, like ready to throw up, dude. And he was like spinning me, like I remember he was like spinning me like I was a little like, dude. I played with my nephews like this, like my little like dude. Yeah. And then after that, I showed up the next day, and I've been there ever since, dude. I was like, that's not cool, man. I was like, just be walking around like thinking that, and then to have someone walk up to you so like peaceful too. He's like, dude, like anybody knows John, like John's like real, like he's like real cool. Like when he talks to you, so it's like, he's like, yeah, come here. Yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then dude, next thing you know, I'm just like, he's like spinning me around like a little top on the floor. It was crazy, but I was hooked.
What? Like a lot of people have that kind of story when it comes to martial arts. Like it's the similar stories like that they think they're a badass, and then they go into a actual like legit gym and they get wrecked. But you also deal with your arm, right?
Yeah. That's a big.
And a lot of people that don't know Josh, you deal with I don't know if I should call it a disability, because it's not really a disability for you.
No, it's more of a like, I guess what you would call is like more of like an abnormality, I guess is what would be called. So it's funny that you brought that up, because I just found out like what that's called. Like so like I've like met people.
Sorry, Josh. No, I don't mean to cut you off, but if you don't know, Josh deals with the abnormality. I can't even say it, but
it's an abnormality. It's just basically, it's nothing like I deal with. It's just something I have that it's just part of my life, basically. It's like one of my arms is smaller than the other one. It's like shorter. It's a lot of the muscles. So basically, that's what I'm getting. So what it's called is, which I just found out this year, it's called Poland syndrome. I think it's called. I gotta look into it more. I know at like almost 30, I should know like what I was born with. I just never thought. But
that says a lot about
it that way, though. That's like
that says a lot about you. That says a lot about you, because you just lived with it. You didn't like didn't bother looking it up. You're just like, all right, I got to live with it. I got to keep on going. And when I first met you, you were a blue belt, and I was like, okay, how's this guy going to roll with, like, I mean, he potentially only has one arm, right? One arm smaller than the other. And then I roll with you, and it's like, and then you're like half, like maybe 1/4 of my size, and you wreck me. like I'm just like, not only are you smaller than me, but I have 2 regular size arms, and you're beating the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I don't know, man. That's just like, I guess if I was to like grow up where like I was like coddled, or like where people like gave me like I don't know, like extra advantages and things, like I think maybe I would have it would affect me a lot more in like sports. But I think the fact that like I grew up where it was like, well, here's a story. Like basically I didn't notice my own arm. I remember the first time I noticed that my arm was smaller than my other arm, to like help like paint a picture like how unaware I was that like anything was wrong with me. So like I'm playing tetherball in like 3rd grade, dude, and some kid goes like, basically, so like I only hit one way to the right, like whatever. If you ever play tetherball, like you hit one way, the kid tries to hit the other way. So like some reason I ended up on the other side where I had to use my left hand. And then the kid's like, "What's wrong with your arm?" And I was like, "Nothing's wrong with my arm." He's like, "It's smaller than the other arm." And he's telling me, you know, kids aren't like school, they just tell you straight. He's like, "Oh, their arm's small." And then like, so I was like, no. So it bothered me the whole day, dude. Like I remember looking at my arms, and I was skinny, dude. So both my arms were skinny. I was just like looking at them like, you know, just like, oh, whatever, you know, like, whatever. That kid's wrong. That kid's dumb. You know, he needs glasses or something. And then I go home and I go up to my dad and I show him, dude. And I'll never forget. I showed my dad, and then he was like, my dad's like try to play it off. He's like, "Whoa, like, you know, like that's crazy that happened." And then, dude, and that was like the last we ever talked about it. And then like it was like, "Yeah, your arms." And then it was like, "Yeah, your arms like that, whatever," you know?
Yeah.
And then like I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then just went about like playing sports and doing everything.
But how do you think you would have reacted if your dad actually like went out looking and searching what was wrong? I mean, if there was a problem or not? I mean, do you think you would be different now? Do you think you would have strive for success this much as a martial artist or athlete?
It's funny because we had this conversation, my dad and I, where like, because I used to joke around my cousins like and say things like, "Oh, if both my arms were like the same length," I was like, "Imagine if I had 2 of my right arms, like I'd be in the NFL, I'd be in the NBA right now or something like that, right?" So I used to joke around, and then my dad was like kind of bringing me back down to earth about it, and he was like telling me, he's like, "You know, you probably wouldn't have the drive or the ambition or like the chip on your shoulder or the like, you know, even like, you know, just like the work ethic, you know, when it comes to competition to like prove myself to a certain degree, you know, so people know like things like this aren't like a hindrance, right? They don't hold you back. It's just about the way you approach it." So like we had a conversation like that, and that was really like, you know, eye-opening in it. And it kind of made me want to like just like work harder. Like it didn't make me think like to stop thinking like, oh, like what ifs, right? Or like all these like different scenarios. It's just kind of like I got what I got, you know, and I've been successful with what I got to a certain degree, you know, and then just work harder to get to that next level with it. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if he like would approach it like, "Yeah, you should be careful and all these things," then I probably would have been like, you know, maybe I'd be like a chess guy or something. I don't know.
Hey, chess is no joke, man.
No,
no, but but like rolling with you and meeting you at Gilroy BJJ and going to Coffee Crew and noticing how they like everybody treated you the same. Everybody would make fun of you. I mean, I remember rolling with, they would call you the Hook or whatever.
Captain Hook. Yeah, that was Captain
Hook. Like everybody was cool about it, and like noticing how they treated you and like normal, like it made me respect you even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you're just. I mean, when I first met you, I was like, oh man, I mean, I'm not trying to talk like down about it, but I'm just saying, like, when I first met you, I was like, man, that must suck. But you inspired me after knowing you. You inspired me the way you deal with things. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and it's really cool, like, to know somebody like you that really just goes after it, even though, like, no matter what circumstances you're given. And then so you were training at Gilroy BJJ. What made you want to move to New York?
Well, New York came like much later, but it was like just like so what happened was I met my girlfriend, who's I don't know, so she's Daisy's sister. So like Daisy's a good friend of mine. We were training together, and her sister came down to visit, and I met her. And we ended up hitting it off, and now we've been dating. So basically, we just got to that point where I was we were getting more serious, and we were doing the long distance thing for a while, and I was kind of like just like working and thinking about like things I wanted to do with jiu-jitsu, and how to take that next step. And every time I visited New York, I always saw there was just like this huge opportunity, like in like everybody out here is like creative, everybody's trying to do like new things, be innovative somehow. There's just like energy about it, right? And like all these
even with jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, with jiu-jitsu even. So that's why like I was like, man, I want to put myself in a place like that to like to like grow my business, like the things I want to do, right?
Yeah.
So being in a relationship mixed with like goals I wanted to accomplish, like kind of I came to that decision to like make the move. So that's kind of how that happened. But unfortunately, like COVID hit, so kind of changed my whole thought process.
But then that thought process went to something really cool, which it linked me back up with you, was 1GDojo. Because before 1GDojo, I didn't even know you moved to New York, and you started posting that you were working out on a rooftop, you were working out at a park, and you're basically 1GDojo. Yeah, I'll let you explain it. Yeah, 1G. Sorry, I keep on messing up. 1G, and I'll let you explain it. What that is.
The 1G thing. So basically, what happened was every time I came to New York to visit my girlfriend Gia, I would like meet like a few people, her friends, and my whole thing was like I walk around, I got cauliflower ear and stuff like that, and so people always ask like, oh, you're a fighter and stuff, and I always get like, no, I grapple and I do jiu-jitsu. You got to make that distinction. Everything thinks you're in the UFC or something. So you know what I mean. So so I'm always like, so anyways, sorry, I was like blanked out. Anyway, so I was when I got here, I was like harassing people like the whole time, every time I would visit to like train jiu-jitsu. So I was like, they're like, oh, you train and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you guys should come train with me. Like, well, let's go to this gym. Let's go to that gym. Let's travel around. We'll do it. I was like hyping it up like big time. Yeah. Right. And I finally got like one of Gia's friends to come with me to train. And we had trained. He told another buddy of his like how the training was, and he was real into it. And I ended up connecting with the friend of a friend. His name's Adam. And we like talked, and he hit me up when I had moved back, and he's like, hey man, I'm looking to train. I seen you and Gia were like rolling, and it was Gia and I were like, she was just helping me drill. And so I was like, yeah, man, let's get together. Like, let's figure it out. And we'll train. And we started training a little bit. And then more and more people that I met just kept hitting me up to do it. So I just figured it out like that. And I started buying mats, and I had to come up with a name. And the way I did the name was my apartment number's 1G. So yeah.
Dude, for the longest time I was like, is he saying like 1GDojo? 1G, and it's 1G. I get it now. Okay.
1GDojo, man. Yeah. So yeah, I should have been better about that, like putting it out there more. But
it's dope though. Like the way I thought about it, it's like you're 1G, like one homie, one guy.
Yeah. A lot of people thought that because I was from Gilroy, and like they're like 1G, like something like that, and then like I'm Mexican, so it's like I guess it fits. But Yeah.
I guess it fits. So
Yeah.
what are your plans with it? Because I think the best photo I really loved was where I knew I was like, man, this could be something big, was when you were on the rooftop.
Oh yeah. So yeah, man, the rooftop. So that's actually, so one of the girls I train, like self-defense, more of the self-defense too. You know, just because of COVID and everything, we figured like I want to do it outside, you know. So we ended up training on her roof. So like like some of the apartments here, you have rooftop access. So I just set up on the roof. So that's actually the whole concept behind like 1G is it's pop-up jiu-jitsu. So because of COVID, a lot of businesses and gyms were like failing because of like rent and like overhead and like paying employees. You can't have anybody indoors training. You can't have people touching each other and doing anything like that. So it's like real difficult. So at the time the weather was nice. I was like, I'm just going to start pop-up jiu-jitsu. So I just started setting up random places and like training like that. So that's kind of like what we're doing with it. Just like, I think that's like the future anyway of gyms. It's like, you know, like most people, if they want to train places, they just like set a mat somewhere.
Especially because, okay, when you, there is a new thing like where there's content creators who are just traveling and going around the world, just not really having a job, just making content.
Yeah.
And then when you get these kind of people, or even traveling for their work or business, they need somewhere to train at all times. And some people don't want to go to a gym, or especially during COVID, you're going to get these people coming to you that are traveling business people, I guess, or also freelancers just like you.
Yeah. It's just like I wanted to make, you know, there's also like a stigma in gyms, right? Like when you first start out, like you don't know if the gym's going to be just like a bunch of tough like guys in there that's just going to like destroy you. There's that like skill level like thing where it's like, oh, I don't know anything. You know, I'm going to go in there with a bunch of people who do know stuff, like they know a lot, you know, they're just going to kick my, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case, you know, when you walk into a gym, right? It's like, I mean, anybody who's ever like trained any form of martial arts is you walk into a gym, most of the time you're going to feel really welcome. You know, everybody's going to be really nice, you know, and that's kind of like, I want to bring that to like the forefront to let people know, like, this is like a prejudice-free zone. This is like, everybody's here for like common goal, just to get better at like some portion of their life. Right. So I'm trying to just like promote that. Like the jiu-jitsu for everybody thing, like just promote it. Like it's not like this like tough guy.
You don't have to be a fighter. You don't have to be someone that's tough. Yeah. You just could be somebody that wants to learn self-defense or just exercise in general.
Yeah, dude. And you know how many times like I had to like hold my arms out in front of people and like show them, like, because they're like, oh, you know, I got this knee thing, you know, like when I played football back in high school and I used to wrestle, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I can't train, or I got to get in shape. And I'm just like, well, I walked in there and I got this going on. You know, it's like, I don't put that in people's faces, but it's a good marketing tool. You know, it's like, get in
just like this.
Yeah. That's what I do. I go, look at this.
No excuses.
I'm walking around like this, and they're just like, all right, well, maybe I'll try it. You know, maybe I'll go in.
So what's the future of it? Are you going to do this full time, or are you going to do this part time? Are you going to look to take it out of the East Coast?
Yeah, I'd like to. So right now, basically, because like COVID spiked, it's kind of slowed down. Yeah. But I would like to eventually like grow it, you know, grow just the movement, similar to like kind of like a coffee crew thing, you know, not necessarily that it's an open mat, but it would be like where coffee crew travels around. There's no like politics, you know.
Yeah.
No dojo. There's no dojo tripping, right? So it's like that's what I've adopted, that no dojo tripping motto, and you know, I'd like to like grow and just bring like, you know, anybody that wants to learn or anyone that wants to teach or train. Like I like to like just provide an area where people can do that. Like jiu-jitsu's given me so much, man. Like just from the time I started till now, in the 5, almost 6 years I've been doing it, like it like completely like changed my life, dude. It gave me so much. Like like I went from like standing on a porch drinking 40s, like now I live in New York, right? So it's like it changed.
That's so awesome, man.
It changed the trajectory of my life. It made me focus on my goals a little bit more, and man. So I'd like to provide that for other people, like as much as possible. So I mean, it's the only way I know how to like buy mats and start setting them up and start like this. But
that's the same mindset like that I have. The same mindset with trying to interview people that are doing stuff like you, and showing people that it just takes hard work. That's all it takes, is just to consistent hard work, and with anything, right? And that's what I learned from martial arts. It was just keep on going to the gym, no matter if you take like a week off or 2 weeks off, or you get hurt, if you get sick, always end up back at the gym, and you're gonna get better. And it's funny because out of Gilroy, BJJ, and Coffee Crew, the people that hang out, Diego, the past guest that we had on Adaptive Sessions, like you guys are all from the same circle, and you guys are branching out to doing the same thing kind of Coffee Crew's doing, which is cool.
Yeah, it's Kiko and those guys that like, that are like the core members of Coffee Crew. This guy's really like, I mean, they're doing it right. They know they're doing it right. It's like proven. Like I started going to Coffee Crew in 2015. So like, I mean, just the environment that was like created in the people, and man, I've gotten jobs just because of knowing people at Coffee Crew, man. Like, just like things like that, dude. Like multiple jobs, dude. Like, like I've gotten a lot of, I've gotten, multiple friendships that like, I can call these guys for anything, or these girls, like anybody, and that's why, like, that inspired me to do all this stuff. That's like, Kiko kind of figured out the formula. It happened real organically, but it's like, if you want to run a successful movement that helps people in every way possible, it's like, you want to do it like the Coffee Crew, like, in my opinion.
That's dope.
It just makes sense.
So what are your plans with jiu-jitsu for yourself? Right now you're a purple belt. And where are you getting your training right now because of COVID?
So
I mean, not that you want to blast out a gym that's open or not. I don't know if you're going to a gym that's open. I don't know.
No. So I haven't trained indoors, man, for like probably since I think Fernando had closed UMA. I think that was back in February or March. I can't recall, but so I haven't trained indoors since March, but besides my house, but I trained with Harlem Free Fight Team. They're a nonprofit. So shout out Harlem Free Fight Team. Coach Rich, he's the guy that's running it, I believe. He, man, dude, that's awesome what those guys are doing. So I've been going out there. Matt Berman told me about. He sent me a post.
So what are they doing? What's Harlem Fight Team doing?
So they're a nonprofit. What they do is they basically teach martial arts and like boxing to the youth of New York. So they go around, like they even like pick these kids up. They help get them like the gear they need. They train them in like boxing. They're just basically trying to, show them like a better way, like a better path. Like it's a really great program that's just like, like in all these things you could be doing right now, like during COVID, like hanging out, just like, doing nothing basically. Like these guys are like showing up and teaching boxing and stuff for free. So they offer free classes to anyone. I think 19 is like the cutoff. Like it's like 13 to 19. That's like the age group they teach for free. And then everybody else is just like donation based. Usually it's like $10, or whatever you want to donate. And they set up.
Have they had any problems with the city or the state or anything?
I don't know anything. I don't know enough about that, but I know they are really, really safe. Like everybody's wearing masks when we show up. They make sure they do temperature checks. They have like all the cleaning products, sanitizers. Mats are clean like before and after training. They have COVID waivers, COVID tests, everything like that. Everybody's like,
have they always been outside?
From what I know, yes. Yeah. Like as far as like I think it was like what it is like a collective of a lot of guys from different gyms.
Yeah.
That kind of like help bring it together. But I know Rich was one of the main guys. He's the guy I was talking to. So
man, it's crazy because I don't know. You guys are just different out there in the East Coast, but there's nothing like that over here. I wish there was, over here in California or in the Central Valley right now.
Yeah, well, dude, that's what I'm trying to like push is like there can be. It's very much all it takes is really just like someone like you, right? Like you get a couple of people together, you throw some mats down in a park every day, and you just stay consistent with it, and it'll slowly like catch fire, right? Or like slowly gain traction. I see you anyway. Like you're training like the guy Jose you train, right?
Yeah.
Like that, or like that kind of stuff. Do you like people are like inspired by that kind of stuff? Like imagine like getting it outside. Like people are gonna want to do that. They see you outdoors every day, like on the mats training. They're gonna try to figure out like what it is. They're like, this looks really cool. Like, yeah,
it's just consistency. And I it's crazy because reality, the whole pandemic, it's not going to go away for a while, I guess you would say. I mean, we had the vaccine coming out, but it's still months before we get to normal. And I'm curious on what's going to happen afterwards. Like what ideas are going to be out there after the whole pandemic, and how transparent and how easy it is to access martial arts, right? Because before it was kind of like a scary, not a scary thing, but like you said, people thought it's like a bunch of tough guys in a gym, in a building, but it's not. It really isn't. I want to see how martial arts grows after this. Because martial arts is one of the biggest sports right now because of UFC and MMA, right? I mean, baseball, watching it without a crowd, it sucks ass. Like,
yeah, like, well, everything, man, everything. Sports is weird in general, right now. But
MMA's thriving. MMA's awesome right now.
Yeah, they are, man. That's like, I mean, I think right now is like the second. It's going to be. I think after COVID, it's going to be like the second boom of like martial arts. Kind of like, in the '90s when like Hoist. When like UFC won and everything like that, or when I think it was UFC 1, he like won, it's kind of like that boom of Jiu Jitsu took off, in the 80s, it was like karate or whatever, so I think this is going to be like the next, boom where I'm starting to even see like Jiu Jitsu companies like collab with like mainstream companies like I seen the Champions Gi, things like that, so.
And I think the industry is going to be so big after this, or it's starting to, right? I mean, it's kind of cool. And to think we both started, because I started training around the same time you started training. I've always done everything. I've always wanted to fight. I never really, my whole goal wasn't to get my black belt in anything. It was just to get in the ring or the cage. So I've always done everything, and and we both kind of started at the same time, right? You do specifically do jiu-jitsu, but it's kind of cool because we were like one generation that's taken it to a whole different level of stuff. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's awesome, man. I can't wait to get out there and visit you in New York and maybe go with Diego and go train out there.
I'm trying to get him to come, man. Trying to get Diego and them to come. Well, I said it'd probably be better after COVID. Like those guys come out here, we can do something like training or something. Be cool.
And we were even talking about going to Thailand, me and him.
Oh, that'd be savage, dude.
It was. And my wife already gave me the go ahead for 2 weeks, but I don't know about he wants to go for a whole month. I don't know about that.
Dude, you got to go for a month, dude. Because I went to when I had gone down to Brazil to train, I was supposed to go for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And dude, like 2 weeks is like nothing. That's like you like barely like you'll see, man. If you go to Thailand, you're gonna try to extend your flight. You're oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Especially the training, man. Like it's like the training's like a whole nother level, and like places like that, you know. So it's just like you're gonna be like, well, you know, I got to get more of this, you know. I can't, you know, I can't just like leave, you know.
Where'd you go in Brazil?
To train or just so I was in Rio and I was training with at FT, Fernando Tererez Academy. So it's his social project he runs there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and did you go with Art Jr.?
No, so I met him there. So senior
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was actually a white belt and I went down there and I went down there because a senior Art Cantu, he helped me out a lot. He like sponsored me basically. So I went down there. He's like, yeah, Junior's down there. And he's like, it'd be really good for you guys to be down there training together, stuff like that. So I ended up going down there and I was trained. I met Junior there. So that's how that came about. And Junior was staying with a friend of his that he had already known, who allowed me to stay, who lived in Cantagalo. It's the favela there in Rio. It's his name's Julio Noguera. Yeah. So Julio Noguera. So we were I stayed with him. So
that's cool, man. That was an awesome opportunity.
It's cool.
But you have 1GDojo. You're making waves with that. I mean, I'm excited to see what you do with it, and I'm excited to see what else you do with your martial arts, because like there's a core group at a Coffee Crew that I first met, and they're all doing things, it seems like, and I'm excited to see where you branch out and what you do, and I feel like you're just at the beginning of your project, right? And it's gonna grow even bigger. And dude, thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing the interview.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
It's funny because I hit you up. I said, hey, you want to be on the house? You want to be on my podcast? And I was like, yeah, come down to my house. And you're like, I moved to New York like 4 years ago.
No. I moved here like a few months before that.
Oh, okay. I thought it was years.
No, dude, I moved here like right before COVID hit. So like and then, you know, no one really, I didn't like announce it to the world or anything. Like I had like a small going away party. Well, like a decent going away party. And then we all I kind of left, you know, under the radar, I guess. So I got here like a few weeks before COVID hit, and you know, I've only been here like it'll be almost a year in February. So I've just been like here.
Okay. I thought I was years off. My bad.
No, man, that's why when you asked me, I was like, yeah, I can't really drive out there. But I didn't know about Zoom at that time. So I didn't even think to offer like whatever.
Well, I did know about it, but I didn't want to do it because I just felt like it wasn't in person. But and then two, I didn't really know about the whole technology. Like I barely know how to use a computer, but I've started learning, and now I know after a lot of people did it, now I'm gonna figure it out how to do it great, like how to do it good, you know? So
right, yeah.
So I'm gonna start finding. I do want to get in touch with the Harlem. What's it called again?
Harlem Free Fight Team.
Yeah, Harlem Free Fight Team. I'm gonna message them or see if I could get them on too. But I mean,
yeah, man, I'll try to reach out. I'll try to reach out to them to see if I could connect you or something, or I don't know if you can shoot them a message or
okay, I'll leave a message.
I'll hit them up for you.
Okay, and dude, thanks for coming on, and I'm excited to see what you're gonna do next. And yeah, thanks for giving me this content for you to do the interview, man. I appreciate
you, man.
it.
I appreciate it. Thanks
for having me. So do you want to shout anything out before we go?
Yeah, actually, shout out Diego at Adaptive Sessions. Thanks for the coffee cup.
There it is right there.
Did you see that, dude?
Yeah. Dude, I need to stop promoting them so much. I promote them like crazy.
I know, dude. I was like, I saw you with the shirt. And I was gonna message Diego, like, wait, like, dude, get Jesse another shirt, bro. I was like, got the Coffee Crew right there, man.
Oh,
no, yeah. I just wanted to shout out Adaptive Sessions, Diego. I wanted to shout out Harlem Free Fight Team.
Yeah.
You know, shout out the guys at UMA Brooklyn. And I think that's it, man. I think I got everybody shouted out, man.
You forgot about 1GDojo.
Oh, 1GDojo. Oh, yeah, man. We just talked about. Sorry, man. I was just thinking about you guys. My bad, dude. My bad. Yeah. So shout out 1GDojo. If you guys are ever in New York, let's get together and let's train.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And everybody could follow you on Instagram at 1GDojo, and then it's what's your handle on it? What was it?
So you can follow me. Sorry.
What was it again? Sorry.
Yeah, so you can follow me at Melendez BJJ and 1GDojo.
And then I'll throw the link down below. It's gonna go on YouTube and in the bio, the information thing on the audio, so they'll be able to click it.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll put it up on everything.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, and thank you guys for listening. And yeah, let me just end it right now. I'm not gonna end the
Just hang up on me?
yeah.